Hello my friends, let's talk about NieR Automata again. At the end of Alpha, I left a crude teaser for what today's topic was going to delve into. The letters HE could have meant any number of things, but alas, they were just initials meaning human exceptionalism. Human exceptionalism is the idea that humans are unique or above all other forms of life or existence on the planet. A version of the idea can be found in nearly every culture throughout the world, sometimes demanding that people fulfill ethical duties to non-human animals, while others treat humanity as having free rein to manipulate and control other forms of life. NieR Automata, however, definitely falls into a camp that denies this idea entirely. Probably better called human non-exceptionalism, NieR Automata seems to stay in step with the original NieR's treatment of looking at many different kinds of life having full personhood and rights. So, in this game where humanity is entirely distant and absent, how does NieR go about saying anything about humanity at all? In the very first moments of the game, we get to learn some of the background history that forms foundational beliefs and goals of the Yorha project. Androids were made in the image of man, using pretty heavy biblical similes to accomplish this. The mission statement of Yorha ends up equating humanity and the androids together. For the glory of mankind, ends up meaning for the glory of ourselves, because of how similar androids are to humans. Because the mental life of a human and the androids are one and the same. Second, we see the game work on the long process of equating the androids to the machines, and not just in their obvious intelligence and ability to communicate being followed by the blind denial on the part of 2B and 9S. When we first go to the desert, we see an awkward scene of a large robot orgy, capping off a series of robots mimicking old human society. These robots, through sex, somehow find a way to give birth to a new kind of machine that is indistinguishable from androids, thus equating the machines and the androids. Third, through the final scene of Route A, we see 2B killing 9S's body once again, in an oddly erotic mounted position. This scene is directly paralleling the machine orgy in the desert. Once 2B and 9S's act is complete, 9S is reborn into one of the larger machines. These androids, through sex, give birth to a machine consciousness. In truth, 9S's entire mechanic of hacking into the machines and occupying their bodies fully equates the androids and the machines. Now, you may not buy that this final scene represents a sexual metaphor, but considering that NieR's story is no stranger to violent romance, particularly with Kaine's almost kiss scene as described in Grimoire NieR. But for an in-game source, the screen where the machine network forces 9S to admit that he wants to fuck 2B nearly immediately precedes this final fight in 2B's Route A. So at this point you'd think that we would probably be finished, but not so, because there is a fourth kind of life to consider here: animals. The first non-machine characters that can be killed in the game are the flock of birds that are shown flying away from the abandoned factory. They can be shot down with pod bullets, and at any other point in the game, can be killed in the same way. When we first get to the ruined city, 9S reports that the machines are oddly non-aggressive, and that the plants and animals have strangely grown to immense size. To many players' surprise, the moose and the boars that occupy the field would easily attack any player that approached too quickly. Since the riding animals of the game consistently go up in level with the player, and since they boast a much heartier health bar than the machines, they make a formidable early game enemy. But why include animals at all? Are they just a remnant from NieR's past? Well, my friends, I think you might underestimate the ludonarrative resonance of this franchise if that's what you think. For one, philosophers like Descartes referred to animals as automata for lacking in the rationality we think defines the human brain. There is a particular chain of side quests that start when you discover a hidden stable being run by a mysterious machine in the forest. The final quest being to go stop a disturbance that has been threatening the animals. This disturbance turns out to be a machine that believes itself to be a moose, and leads a pack of moose which will quickly kill without mercy. NieR asks, I wonder why it's okay to kill some animals and not others. This questline equates the machines with animals, and by extension equates humanity with the rest of animal kind as well. NieR's question becomes more important with this realization. Humans, androids, machines, and animals are all on the same level. None are exceptional to the rest. Animals kill other animals. Androids and machines kill each other, and humans are no different. But what does accepting this human non-exceptionalism mean? As equals, is it thus our duty to never kill another living thing? Or are there no duties at all, because the state of the world is a state of war, and none of these other beings will guarantee your peace or your life for you? When we are all automata, the burden of finding meaning as a rational animal becomes far more rigorous, nuanced, and heavy. Thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you liked this video even a fraction of the amount that I loved NieR Automata. If you did, consider supporting my channel by subscribing and maybe take a look at my Patreon page as well. And as always, stay true.